Hey, there we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be where you are. Welcome back to the live stream. My name is Jeff Fritz. Today is September 10th, 2019. We're going to write a little bit of code today. How's it going there, chat room? Look at this. We're already starting off early.
Steel79 just resubscribed for 11 months. Hi all.
Hey, good morning, Stelzy. So good to see you. Thanks so much for that sub. And just like we do all the time here on channel, we will make a donation to Coder Dojo this quarter. They're helping train trainers build facilities all over the world so that folks can learn more about technology, can grow their careers. Thanks so much for that. How's it going? Let me say hello to everybody in the chat room here. Let me start up at the top. A couple new followers. Thank you to our new followers out there. Let's see. Crass Kitty. Oh, that's great to see you. Thank you. Amp Falls. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining us. 24 minutes. Good morning, Raphael. DCA. Good to see you. Tagaron. Sean's here. The Coding Gorilla. Hi, guys. Matt Summers, Dev. Hello, hello. Dee Dee's here.
Martin Van Stam just resubscribed for 6 months.
Martin's here too. Hey, Martin. Good to see you. Webface. Hello, hello. Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much for the stub. Surly Dev is here. Hey, how's it going? Good morning. I took a long weekend this weekend. I had a lot I had a lot on my mind. It's been a long summer for me. I've literally worked every day since May. Nights, weekends, every day. It has been a long summer. We've had kids, family members traveling, catching up, and in the middle of the weekend things. So I've been juggling my schedule so I can make sure that I still get things done. And evidently, doing 4 days here and 4 hours here and 6 hours there, do a couple hours on the weekend to make sure that I catch up. And we're finally into the fall here in the States. Oh my gosh, I am so happy to be through. So it took a little time, went to the mountains this weekend, relaxed, and we're back at it today. That's why I completely forgot about this and had to cut Sunday stream. Caparino, good to see you. Hello. Surly Dev asks, have all the UK devs registered for DDD in October? That's the day of .NET, right? Yeah, absolutely. That's a great idea there. Rama, hello. Hello, good to see you. 24 minutes. If I got time left, can I check out the question in Discord? Let's hop over to Discord. Let me see. Anybody know if it's possible to combine? That's a good question. Let's hit that. Let's hit that as part of what we're going to discuss coming up here. That is a great question there. 24 minutes. Absolutely. Let's make sure that we touch on that. If you're not familiar with Discord, if you don't know what this is, Discord is like it's like Slack for gamers. But it's a little bit more isolated. It's got a party line type of capability with the audio chat rooms. Really great way for you to go somewhere that is a little bit offline. Integrates great with Twitch and all the social media that we have here. Check it out. Thank you, Surly Dev, for sharing. Everybody's welcome to join our Discord server. Other folks out there that write code that you see here, hanging out in the chat room over there, are there, and you can ask questions. We're very happy to interact with you, to answer, and to help you out if you have something. There's also an Ask Jeff Anything channel there. I'm going to start relying on that a lot because I want to start doing regularly here. 20-minute to half hour. Let's just answer a question. Let's get folks that support they need to be successful with whether it's .NET, C#, ASP.NET, Blazor, maybe even JavaScript. But we want to make sure that you're successful. And we're going to take these videos, these segments that we'll do here together, isolate them, pull them out as a separate YouTube video, and get them highlighted and available for folks in an archive. So you can see, here's all kinds of questions folks have had. So it's very searchable, and you can maybe learn something out there. Hey, Frackberg, good to see you. Developer.com. Indeed. Rama Hello says, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do I hate college degrees? I only have one college degree. I have a Bachelor in Management Sciences and Information Systems from the Pennsylvania State University. Penn State. That's right. We are Penn State. And it wasn't my original degree that I went for. I originally applied and I went for chemical engineering. I got into it and I realized the level of math and calculus that I was doing to calculate the flow of fluids and the temperature of fluids, thermodynamics, traveling through pipes and heat exchangers. I felt like I was becoming a plumber. And this was at a time just as the internet was ramping up, and I was getting really excited with that, and I decided to make a change at that point. And it was a hard, painful change in my college career. I hated my chemical engineering degree and the classes I was taking. And it was not easy. It was a hard discussion with my parents to go through and say, hey, look, I want to go pursue management sciences and information systems. But I think it was the right choice to make because now I'm here. So that was a change that I made many, many years ago. It's hard, Rama Hello, to get your college degree, but the process, the trials that you'll go through completing that degree are extremely valuable and will teach you skills for managing your time, managing projects that will be extremely valuable for the rest of your career. Oh, thank you, Dee Dee. Yeah, I think it was a good choice. Good morning, TBD Gamer. Yes, JAF 1021 is here. We are Penn State. Just in case you didn't know, JAF 1021, it's my mother. And she asked for a special fanfare when she appears in the chat room here. So, indulge me for a second here, chat room. I want to welcome JAF 1021. There she is. Right there. Okay. Right there. All right, there you go. So I hate my degree, that's why I dropped. Oh, Rama, hello. I'm sorry to hear that. Udemy and Pluralsight is many times better than college. That's up to you. There's things to learn, skills to learn, not just what's in classes, but social skills, time management skills, presentation skills that are extremely valuable when you're at university. So that may work out for you. For other folks, it's a very, very good set of skills that they'll learn there. Caparino asks, do you guys prefer server-side pagination or client-side? Let's talk about that here in just a little bit, because we're going to talk about this in just a little bit. I want to go through this. Ultramark says, otherwise this would have been the plumber channel. Yes, it would have. Was that majestic enough? See, look at this. For my mother, I have to make my mother a VIP here, right? She's got the little gem, and now she's got a fanfare that plays. My gosh, I am such a mama's boy. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We are at 7583 followers over here. If we get that number to 8,000 before September 15th, I will dye my beard rainbow. September 15th is less than a week away.
Anonymous gifted Jeff 1021 a subscription. An anonymous user gifted a tier 1 sub to Jeff 1021.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for that gift, anonymous gifter. That was very kind of you. No need to do that, but congratulations, JF1021. You're now a subscriber. And it's 3 months. That means you have a red hat badge. Oh my gosh. I should be the one taking care of this. But thank you very much for that. I really appreciate that. Ram Hello says, I hope... I'm sorry. Ram Hello, no need. I will never ban someone because they have an opinion, positive or negative, about a topic. We just ask that you treat other folks in the chat room respectfully. That no swearing. This is a family-friendly channel, and let's have constructive discussions. So these are things, and if you feel that those services provide an education for you that's better than what you were experiencing at your choice of college or university, that's terrific.
Amfalls just subscribed.
Thanks so much for that sub, and we'll make another donation to Coder Dojo. Thank you so much for that. And you're gonna get the purple hat there. There you go. 17 emotes here in channel. All the bots and rainbow bearded things, and yeah. And you'll get to throw emotes here on channel. That's always fun because throwing emotes makes the stream better, makes it stronger, more important. Because we've got 90+% sentiment right now in channel. It's amazing. Darn Skippy indeed, M. Holloway. Good to see you. So we are at 7583. If we got that number to 8,000 before the 15th, I promised I would dye my beard rainbow for .NET Conf and TwitchCon. I don't think we're going to make it. So I've got a couple events coming up in November. Let's see if we can hit 8,000 before those November dates. And I will promise to dye it for one of those conferences. Fairy Wings, thank you so much for the host. All right. Everybody loves tacos. What happened here? What? TBD Gamer says, dropped out of college, been a dev for 20 years. It's hard in the beginning. We should be able to finish out college. Stelzy, in my opinion, you only learn stuff for a degree. You need to have a job in academia. I'm not going to disagree with that. You won't get skill learned you will need in an IRL profession. Yeah, and I think this is a good discussion, and to Rama, hello. And I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Let me know. I'll happy to change that. This is a good positioning for a mentoring or an internship program. There's internship programs at all kinds of businesses. Microsoft has a tremendous internship program. You may have seen the videos that the Microsoft interns made. Microsoft the Musical. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Microsoft the Musical. And here it is. I'm not going to show the whole thing, but the 2019 interns put together, come on, show me the title card. There it is. Microsoft the Musical. All right, you're welcome to check this out. I'm not going to play the whole thing here, but they made a musical about Microsoft. All kinds of fun things, great folks that you'll meet when you intern at a company who come from other universities, other schools. Getting through the classes is just part of it. If you get into an internship program, get some mentoring from some professionals, you're going to learn a lot more and be better set up for a career in that path than you would if you just went to classes, did your homework, showed up, took the tests, finished the exams, submitted your papers. You've got to learn more outside of the classroom. And the same goes with any career in technology. You can't just work 9 to 5 on whatever task it is that you've been assigned. You need to spend time learning. You need to spend time reading what's happening. The only constant in this industry is change. Be ready for it. Understand what's happening. Learn what's coming down the pike at you. What are those new things that are happening, so that when the next version of a framework comes out, the next operating system comes out, you're ready. That will make you more valuable to your employer. I know a number of devs without computer science degrees, says Musical Bookworm. They have a music education degree. Very cool. A lot of the education-related skills have proved very useful as a developer. Yes. It doesn't matter as much right now what degree you have when you want to get into software development. If you want to get into software development at a major software company, and I'm talking about the FANG companies, which is interesting because when you think about Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google, the FANG companies, there's one that's clearly missing from that set. And it's the most valuable one. It's the biggest one. It's the one that everybody uses. Microsoft. They're not. There's where you're going to want a computer science degree, an engineering degree, an IT degree, a business degree. But outside, if you're if you want to be a developer at some company that needs software developers, a smaller company, something that uses software development to help further their products. And that's something ancillary. Pharmaceutical company, healthcare company, insurance company, a bank. It's okay to not be a software degree, right? Not to have a software degree when you graduate university. You'll do just fine. Webface is studying for the 7483 exam to work towards an MCSD. Of course, MCSD is the Microsoft Certified Software Developer. It's a great credential to have as you apply for jobs, to have that certification. If you like change and learning, tech is a great career, says Dee Dee Walsh. She's not wrong. And Dee Dee's built a lot of stuff that you use. So trust me, trust her. Great stuff. Academia was historically never meant to train trainees. Good point, Stelzy. But for educating to be able to research stuff in the future. Yes. So let's get some music playing. And let's get okay. Just catching up. Well, and then we need to get some music playing, and I want to answer this question about some simple Blazor user interface. And there's a great question in the Discord about using Blazor with MVC. So let's talk about that. Some music. We're going to play, of course. I didn't. Yeah. We're, of course, going to play. That's the wrong one. Music to code by. There it is. And today I'm going to play. Let's play Gold. There it is. This is Music to Code by our friend Mr. Carl Franklin. It's been scientifically designed. It's been engineered to get you in the flow, to get you in the groove, so that whatever task you may be working on, you can focus on. Thanks so much, Carl. Appreciate you letting us listen to your music here on channel. Get your copy of Music to Code by. Run the music command there in the chat room, or go to mtcb.pwop.com. All right. So we got our music playing. I forgot to do the welcome, but I've got a welcome now that I can fire here.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
That's pretty good. So I need to remember to hit that button, and then there's Mom's music when Mom shows up. Yeah. So, all right. Let's get into this. Let's talk about the question that I have in front of us here, and what we can do to build a little bit of, and get through some of these user interface paradigms that we need to start understanding when we're working with Blazor, MVC, and some of the new ASP.NET features. This is my GitHub. We'll create a repository here and put our learnings from today in that repository so you can download the demo after we walk through this. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, good. Good. All right. So we're going to start with Visual Studio. I've already got ASP.NET Core 3.0, .NET Core 3.0 Preview 9 installed. Of course, if you're watching this as a recording over there on YouTube, you missed the fun! Make sure you get back in next time, okay? Twitch.tv. Yeah, people know me. Twitch.tv/C#Fritz. Tune in, all right? It's Taco Tuesday. What happened there? 0.1 sentiment? Really? What the heck happened there? Thank you, Rainbow Corgis for everybody. Thank you, EcoMath. I don't know what that is. Oh my goodness. So, when we talk about building with Blazor, right? Blazor is the new WebAssembly-based framework. It also runs on the server, but it's the new WebAssembly framework that's available for you to use with .NET. You can write C# code, compile it, and it'll run in the browser, not on a server, in the browser. So how do we interact with that? How do we build and make something with that uses, the first question is master detail record user interface paradigm. So let's walk through that. 24 Minutes asks, is this the preview version of Visual Studio? Yes, it is. Yes. I typically use the preview version of it here so that we can do several things. Exercise it and figure out if there's any slowness, any issues on new features that we want to make sure we open bugs for, and we can share that along with videos live from the stream. And I also want to show you some of the cool new features as they're being built and as they're being released, so you get a sneak peek only on this channel, all right? So I'm going to create a new project here, and I'm going to create a Blazor app. I've already used the Blazor app, so it's in my recently used project templates. If I didn't have it in my recent list here, I could go find it by just typing in Blazor, and Blazor app is available. You can filter by language. You're on a channel called C#Fritz. Of course I'm going to program with C#. And choose your platform, what type of project you're looking for, and it'll filter down nicely. I know I want a Blazor app, so I'm going to go find Blazor. Project name, and let's call this Sample Blazor UI. Sure. Create that, and it's going to prompt me for a little bit of extra information. There we go. Server app or a WebAssembly app. We used to call these Blazor client apps. But this is WebAssembly, right? You compile down to that WebAssembly runtime. It's actually, we can talk more about that later. And it'll run in the browser. So this is the one that I'm going to choose today. I don't need Docker support. I can choose for this to be ASP.NET Core hosted. Now for the second question that we got there, around using Blazor with MVC. I'm going to turn on ASP.NET Core hosted. You don't have to do this. You can run Blazor on top of just static HTML. By doing it this way, I can integrate MVC with Blazor, and I can also integrate Web API as well. There really isn't Web API anymore. That was the old name for the API framework, the API servicing framework that was available from ASP.NET Core. Now it's kind of merged in the same thing as MVC. Let me take a look at the chat room and get caught up here on chat. That's neat. Oh, thank you, 24 minutes. Hey, Deathpacks. The Fritzbot is awesome. Yes. Yes, yes. Ecomath, Q-Sharp Fritz. No, we're not doing Q-Sharp. No, no, no. Not yet.
Do it live!
I would be doing it live, but I don't know Q-Sharp yet. Martin Van Stam asks, I need to install .NET Core as a separate update. Starting with, I think it was like Preview 7 of Visual Studio, it will install the latest version of .NET Core along with it. If you opt into it, it will light that up for you. This is the old Blazor hosted template. Yes, it is. Client, server, and some shared components that you can interact with. And when you click into these, there we go. You can see this is the Preview 9 version of ASP.NET Core. Of course, the RTM is scheduled to be released at .NET Conf. That's in just over 2 weeks? 2 weeks? Oh my gosh, is it that close? Just over... Oh gosh, it is in 2 weeks. Okay. Make sure you tune in. It'll be syndicated here on this channel, .NETconf.com. It'll also be on the Visual Studio channel, broadcasted on Twitch. Sorry about that. Janescu says, did you know it's Subway? Well, it's September. Yes, here on Twitch. Subway is sponsoring half-price new subscriptions on all the channels. If you haven't been a subscriber, if you buy a sub, so you have to pay, you'll get it for half price. Subway pays the other half, and we'll still make the same donation to Coder Dojo here on the channel. And my employer matches. So there's that too. All right, let's get back into this. So this is Preview 9, and it's available, well, it's created a client project, a server project, and this shared project. The shared project runs .NET Standard. This is what we build our libraries with now. We prefer .NET Standard. This way, we have a unified interface, a unified implementation of all the things, the shared logic, the shared objects that we want to use across the various .NETs. While we're in 2019, early 2020, we want to have a similar experience with these domain objects and business logic across, whether it's .NET Core, .NET Framework, Xamarin, take your pick. When we get to the end of 2020, .NET 5 will land, and there will be only one .NET. I need to get the Highlander sound so I can put that together. There will be only one .NET. That's good. I'm gonna make a note of that. Right? Right, that's the Highlander music. And we'll put together there will be only one .NET. I think that'll be pretty cool. Yeah. Let's see here. Didn't know about the employer match part of this. Oh yes. And the first 500 of the year I match personally, so it actually gets quadrupled. The first 500 that yeah. So it goes a long way. Kizzy asks, I'm gonna thank our new follower Privet. Welcome. Are they getting deprecated? Asks Kizzy. No, so .NET Framework is always going to be around. Because it's embedded, it's part of Windows. .NET Core has a 3-year life cycle, support cycle, and if you stay with those LTS versions, you will have 3 years of support and a year to transition to the next one. So really, it's 4. But don't say it's 4 to Microsoft people. It's 3 plus a year to transition onto the new one that you're going to. If you're using what's called a current release, you have 3 months after the subsequent release comes out. So right now, the current release version here at the beginning of September 2019 is .NET Core 2.2. We have .NET Core 3 going to be released on September 23rd at .NET Conf. You then have 3 months to transition off of 2.2 or you lose support. And that might be okay. You might be comfortable with that. But if you want to continue support, you need to upgrade to 3.0 before 3 months from the end of September, October, November, before the end of December. So this way, we can keep things fresh. If you want to stay on those aggressive latest versions of the framework, you can. That's your choice. You can opt into it. Or you can wait till an LTS version is released, like .NET Core 2.1 is the current LTS, long-term servicing. And the next version will be .NET Core 3.1 will be the next LTS version, and that'll be released November, December. When that version comes out, you'll have 3 years from that release date to work with it. The Highlander of Microsoft, yes. They're trying to simplify the spaghetti, and that's why they're trying to... And I completely understand the comment, Kizzy, that it's a spaghetti of .NET frameworks. You're absolutely right. And that's something that, quite frankly, the .NET team is not happy with. It's gone in directions because everybody wanted their own framework and runtime. Whether it was the phone, it was Windows Store, and of course Miguel and his team wanted to have .NET on an iPhone. And more power to them. Very innovative, and they did tremendous things there at Xamarin. But now we're trying to put the toothpaste back in the tube and bring everybody back together so we have just one .NET to work with. And it'll just work everywhere. It's a hard problem to solve, and the team is full of very smart people that are working on this. I applaud the folks for making this decision, because it was not an easy decision to say, yes, let's simplify this. It's what it means for us as developers is we'll have one platform to build and support for. Whether you deploy to a phone, to an IoT device, to a cloud server, to a desktop, you're going to end up getting, or running in the browser like this, you're going to end up getting great support, great features, great tools, and no framework will feel like a second rate because it's not part of the core tools, or it's not a core feature that was targeted as part of that release of .NET. Everything will feel exactly the same every time. That's the goal. Thank you for the link, Martin. Yes, I agree. Wanted, finally, yes. The LTS stuff, I understand what you're saying, Ecomath, that it could confuse people. I understand that. However, other frameworks that folks have come to appreciate and use, particularly Node, use this concept of current and LTS, and that's the levels that they support. You can't support every framework for eternity. You can't. That's not realistic. So, LTS is a common practice, yes. So, one time that will rule them all was something Java had for a long time. Yes, absolutely.
Kaiser Carl 2010 just subscribed.
Kaiser Carl, thanks so much for the subscription. Welcome. We'll make a donation to Coder Dojo, and you're going to get 17 emotes, and you can throw emotes on the screen now. Thanks so much for joining us. WQ Walter asks, do you have plans for some conversion of .NET 1.0, 2.0 to .NET 3.0 Twitch sessions? You have done some where you start with 3.0, you're in 2.2 now, would like to see examples of upgrading. That's not bad. That's not a bad idea at all. That's a good question, WQ Walter. Can you do me a favor and put that as a question in the Discord in the Ask Jeff Anything channel, and we'll be sure to get to it. I want to get to this with the Blazor user interface here. Only thing they don't like, Codeman Codes doesn't like with the closed captioning plugin. Maybe there's a setting you haven't looked at. You have to turn it off every time you come into the stream. Good point. I've seen that as well. Yeah. All right, let's talk about this. These project templates for Blazor, there's 3 of them, and we have the shared .NET Standard one. The server, this is ASP.NET Core here that's running. When I don't want to look at connected services. I want to look here. NetCore App 3, and this is ASP.NET Core Blazor as a server, and it's the web SDK. This is an ASP.NET Core project. I'm going to close these down. And finally, the client, this is what's going to be compiled and run in the browser. So, right, when we run this, we get a counter, a little thing that fetches data from the server, and an index page that just says, hey, welcome to your app. Big deal. Who cares? But we want to talk about doing some master detail records here. This code runs. This is C#. This is a Razor template. It compiles and runs in the browser. And you have things like this survey prompt that looks like a tag. It's a directive. It gets turned into another component right here, survey prompt. And you see it's executing its running code. Well, if we want to do something that looks like a master detail record, we should have something that actually has master records and detail records. So I'm going to create another controller here, another API controller. I'm going to create a controller. I'm going to create an API controller, make it empty, and we will call this orders controller. Installing NuGet packages, blah, 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 blah. Hey, Twitchloft, good to see you. While this is installing, let me take a look back here. In Java, you have now only about half a year of free runtime left. Before that, customer has to pay for support from Oracle. Yes. Oracle has yes, made it a paid thing to use their tools. Waiting. Yeah, React.net, that's not React. They shot themselves in the face, says Wanted. Wow. They didn't make their customers too happy. They made their customers kind of upset. What are you doing, Visual Studio? There we go. All that to generate 4 lines of code. Get back to me on that one. Michael Jolly.
The Michael Jolly just resubscribed for 10 months. Will the madness ever end?
Oh my gosh. Will the madness ever end? No. Never. Thank you so much for the sub, and we'll make another donation to Coder Dojo. So I want to create and do something here that does the typical orders with order details, order line items, user interface. How does that user interface work? So let's put together a quick class here for an order object. And I'm just going to mock this up real quick. Orders have an ID. No. Why didn't... No! What did I do? Controller base. Why isn't that in... Whatever. I'm going to move this to another file. Let's go somewhere else. I don't need this. DD Walsh!
DD Walsh just subscribed.
Thank you so much for that.
Oh my.
Oh my indeed. Thank you very, very much. And, oh, DD's now going to be able to throw emotes at us.
What'd you do?
Well, she converted from Twitch Prime to a full subscription. Thank you so much, and we'll make another donation to Coder Dojo. Svava asks, what mischief? Oh, Svava. let me tell you, I'm going to write some code here, and this code...
It can be done exactly how I want it.
Exactly how I want it.
The only question is, are you the man to do it?
Darn Skippy, I'm the right man to do it. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to finish this off. All right, so we're going to create a little order object that has... And I'm not going to complete this object. I'm just going to create it for the sake of being able to show some things. And this is going to have... Right in the way that we build things today with Entity Framework, right? We might have a list of order items that we call item, right? And order items are going to be, let's just create that here. Right, an order item, there might be an order item ID. There's going to, of course, be an order ID. Some product, and you may link out to a product object, right? But of course, there's going to be a quantity that you order, a price for your object, for your order items, and of course, there's going to be a total price for that, which really is just right, the quantity times the price. Okay, so I've got a collection of order item objects. Move that to another file. I don't care about those. And you would typically return and get these things back, but maybe you don't want them back all the time because you've got a search page that you're returning. So for right now, just for the purposes of making this demo a little bit simpler, I'm going to remove that. Wouldn't it be an I collection, then a list? It might be a DB set. It could be a couple different things there. You're right. DD's gonna be on fire. Oh. I wouldn't be surprised. Can you do Blazor without Razor? No. Like call the front end C# code from JavaScript. Yes. But the whole point of Blazor is you're using Razor templates. You can't write with this framework front-end C# code that that just compiles and is a DLL hanging out there. Other folks have written frameworks that do have that capability. Take a look at folks like Uno and the Uno frameworks. So, catching up on news after a couple weeks. Hey, Jeremy Knight. Yes, I need to check up on that. I'm not familiar with that. All right, so we have orders, and we have order items. Just for the sake of having something here, I'm going to create a static read-only list of orders, and we'll call this orders, and I'll make a new list of orders. No, what the heck is that? What did I do? What is this thing? That I don't know what that was. All right, so let's put some orders in here to be displayed. ID equals 1, customer name equals Joe Bag. What the heck? That wasn't me. Another order, ID equals 2. Customer name equals Mary Contrary. All right. So I've got 2 dummy orders here, and right, that's the end of that. Good. Let's create another private static read-only list, this time of order items, because that's how they'd be sitting in your database. And we'll call these items, new list of order items. That tabbing is wrong. This formatting was fixed. Here in preview 9, it's broken. That's broken. No, didn't want to do that. There, now it fixed it. All right, so let's put in a new order item. ID 1. Order ID equals 1. The product is widgets. I don't know, and doesn't matter. Let's order 2 of those, and the price for those widgets is $7.99. Right. Put in a new order item. Thank you. ID equals 2. Order ID equals 1, because it's going to be in the same first order. The product is going to be stuff, because you're always going to order stuff. I'm going to want 1 stuff. Price is $5.99. That's cheap stuff. 1 more order item, and we'll call it here. This is ID 3. Order ID equals 2. It's in the second order. The product we're going to order this time, yeah, let's order some more widgets. Quantity equals, let's only order 1 widget. And of course, the price for widgets is $7.99. All right. So now we have a collection of items, we have a collection of orders, so we have this master detail data set up at this point. We would set up some sort of a API for us to select into these and pull out those capabilities. So let's do this. Let's create a get method that'll return our orders. So this is going to return an iActionResult of type IEnumerable order, right? And we'll call this get orders. All right. Why like that? I shouldn't have to install the abstractions. Just do it, right? This is returning. Fine. We'll simplify. I'd really prefer to make this simpler, but whatever. That works. So if I'm just getting the orders, I return the orders. If I'm returning the items, but I want to return the items for a specific order, right? Get items for order int ID. And what I'll do is I'll return items where I can actually say, yeah, where I dot order ID equals the ID submitted, right? And let's cast that to an array. There we go. All right, so now I have a way to get the items for the order, and I have a way to get the orders and present that stuff. Just make it iActionResult. All right, fine. See, it doesn't like it. I have to turn this into now, and that's fine, I guess. Return, okay, and here's the object we're returning. All right, so I have those being returned, right? And this is just how you would interact with that master detail record from an API point of view. I can now interact with the JSON for these objects easily, right? If you return an IEnumerable, it will parse to JSON automatically. Yes, it will. Yes, indeed. Do we have a schedule for .NET Conf? Asks Morzel. Yes, the agenda has been published. Love to see a Microsoft official solution for running non-UI C# code. Why? You want to run code in the browser, in the user interface platform, but you don't want it to touch the user interface. You want to run complex calculations in the browser. In order to send them to the browser, it has to be part of HTML, in which case you're writing Razor. Complex calculations to run in the browser is a bad idea. because you're going to start to run into issues with memory in the sandbox in the browser. We already have folks that leak memory like crazy in their browsers. So, C# service workers. So you write those as part of your Razor template. No, it's not even a service worker. You can interact using SignalR and receive messages back and forth. You've heard some companies using it for things like image calculations. Okay, that's not that's not too complex, but you can certainly do that with the code behind a Blazor template. So, okay. So I've got these two things. Let's create now the actual page that's going to interact with that. So I'm going to add a Razor page. Okay, I guess I'm not adding a Razor page. I'm adding a Razor component. And we will call this orders. This is a Razor component that lists... Really? That's going to listen on /orders. This should be an H1. If we're going by semantic accessible HTML, that should be an H1. And I need a way to go get that code. The way that the forecast was getting it was receiving an iHTTP oh my gosh. Right? iHTTP why am I blanking on this? Not context. Client. And why am I not getting that completed properly? No. Why don't you like that? Right? iHTTP client. What did I do wrong here? There. No. Did I lose my other browser? No, it's over here. Come on, Jeff. Right? HTTP client. Right? That's the thing you inject. Not there. Here. Pages. Not the model. Not the model. Right? Well, that's not there. Look at the other project. No. Why am I blanking on this? Right? iHTTP client should have gone and gotten it. Here.
Oh my.
Right? That makes me mad. Okay, so this has a page that goes with it. Go find that. It's under my view models. Right, and I should be injecting HTTP client. It's not here. Why isn't it here? That's what I thought. I mean, if I do that, whatever. I thought there was an interface you would inject and get that. Hey, Smab, good to see you. No, I'm not gonna. The only reason I didn't go to Stack Overflow is because I've already got code that does this, and I don't. Whatever, we'll figure that out later. I'm going to override uninitialized async here. It didn't autocomplete that. Thank you for the follow, Ferd. Welcome. See, now I didn't get the right. I'm not getting the autocomplete. Async task. Yeah. Are you kidding me? Override uninitialized async, and it's not giving me the override. override async task. Thank you for the follow, Kika Bomb. Yeah, I'm getting killed left and right here by the, cannot change access modifiers. Well, I'm sorry, it didn't give me what the appropriate one was. And now, right, okay. Because I have the HTTP client, I can reach back to the server and I can go and get that data that I need. But I'm going to want to have, somewhere up here, a collection of my order objects. But my order objects are over here in this project. I can't access this because it's not in the same project as what I'm shipping down to the client. So what I'm going to do, I should actually cut. And I'm going to go down into the shared project. This is .NET standard. So these simple domain objects can be shared back and forth between the two projects. And I'm going to change their namespace to the shared namespace. Here like this. And here like this. Thank you for the follow. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that. Maurice? Welcome. What domain am I referring to? Our business domain is the domain I'm referring to, Zofo. Why not HTTP Client Factory? Blazor handles this for us because it's on the client side. We're actually going to end up getting the same fetch client that you would if you were inside the browser using JavaScript. Okay. So I have those two objects over there. This should still be okay once I fix this namespace. There we go. Good. All that still works. Continue up here to this orders. So now I can have a collection of orders, right? Are you kidding? And I'll call this orders. All right, and this should be cranky for me. No, of course. Sample Blazor UI shared order. That should work now. Good. Wait a sec. I already said it. So now I've got items and orders. So I want to first go get the orders. And I'm going to do that with HTTP client. I'll load them up. That's what I'll do. Why .NET Standard? Why not just core library for a shared project? Core is not what Blazor is built on. Blazor is built on .NET Standard because Blazor compiles and runs on Mono. Mono is what's delivered and runs inside the browser. It's actually a special version of Mono that is compiled against WebAssembly so that it'll run over there. So you need the .NET Standard instances of these so they'll compile and run on top of that special version of the Mono runtime over there. You're very welcome for the .NET Core workshop. I'm glad you enjoyed it. All right. So continuing here, I need to go get those orders. So for me to go get those orders, I'm going to use my HTTP client, and I'm going to get asynchronously from some URI. Well, I'm going to go to /API/orders because that's where this is listening, API orders. So I should be able to interact in, because I'm just doing a get. Let's make that clear here. And this is an HTTP get. I don't think I need a template on this. I think it'll just infer it appropriately because we're accepting that ID. I think it does. So it's going to get that. It's going to return an HTTP response message that we're going to need to parse out and turn back into order objects because it'll be JSON, right? Isn't there a get? Yeah, get JSON async. That's what I want. So this will get JSON async of some type, and that type I want is this. You know what? Hang on. Let's get rid of this. This is... I don't want to be... I'm going to put a using statement up here so I can get rid of these. That's better. All right, so I'm getting a collection of order objects, and that's going to go into my orders. This needs to actually be IEnumerable. Or, no, wait. I can do it like that, can't I? And we're going to need to await that. There we go. All right. So we're going to get the JSON asynchronously, await that, and when it finishes fetching those order objects, paste it into this orders field, this orders property that we can then go and interpret. So we can say if orders does not equal null. Well, if it is null, loading. Otherwise, let's put a table with a t head. Right, you know how to do this. Th. That's what I wanted. Right? Alright, so the... Oh, come on, Jeff. ID and the customer for the order, and I'm going to put one more th on the end here. T-body, and we will do a for each across order in orders. We'll output a tr, and each one of these will have order ID, order dot customer name, and we'll put on the last one here a button, and we'll have this button do something when you click it. Specifically, we'll have it show the details, and we'll have it show the details for this order ID. There it is. Well, get details doesn't exist. That's why I've got a red line here. So we need to write a get details method. Get details, that's going to be pretty simple. So we'll create a public async task get details that takes an ID. Items equals await HTTP client get JSON async order items, and we're going to this time go to API orders ID. So that'll return the items for that ID, because it's going to pass that ID into our method that'll return for just that, and it'll load up into this items collection. So to show those details, if items does not equal null and items has some content to it, we'll put out a table. Yeah, I don't need an else. Just hide this. H2 line items, right? T head, tr, th. What do we have in here? Right, the product, price, USD, quantity, total, right? So what I think you're seeing here is for each item, that kind of makes sense, in items. What I think you're seeing is you're going to be able to do this the exact same way you would if you had any other type of object. You're just going to be clicking through from details to show the detail record. So we're going to output the product name, the price USD, but we're going to format that nicely as this. Okay. We're going to have one more here, item quantity, and the total is going to be item total price. I'm going to use that same formatting. And of course there's localization concerns and whatnot that you're going to have to go through there, but for the purposes of this quick demonstration, what's a T font? No. t foot. That's better. tr td call span equals 3. Nothing there. But in the last one, we will have, let's show the actual total. Know what I mean? So we'll say item sum, total price, no, I dot total price. There we go. So that's sum for each object. Grab the total price, add those together, give me an aggregate, and we'll output this with that same currency format. Done. I think we can put a class on this of table. I can also put not just table, but right, there's like table responsive striped. That's the one I'm looking for. Right, and there's all kinds of other formats you can add to those, and these should light up appropriately. No live currency conversions. Oh, you are devious, Brave Cobra. Yeah, that's Karnak, Mind to Write. Welcome. Yeah, I want to make sure that you can see all the hotkeys that I'm using because I type quickly and I don't want to stop and explain each one of those. What about navigating to a details page? That's up to you. The point of this exercise, the demo that we're trying to show here, is a master detail record interface. So I have master records here. This is a header of show me just the order record, and when I click into one of these, get me just those items to show here on the screen. So let's start this up. And then we'll take a look at how we can integrate this with MVC and do an MVC page or a Razor page next to Blazor. And of course, I've got build errors. My build errors are so bad, they don't even show up. And then we're going to have a problem. Orders. Member names cannot be the same as their enclosing type. What? What? Fine. So we're going to rename this from orders to my orders. Yeah, you like apples? How about them apples? All right. Now let's give it a shot. Would items (any) do the same thing? I think so. I think so. I think you're right. Line 7, my orders.
And then?
Come back here. Oh, yeah, right there. You're right. Restart that. Good catch. Good catch. Who caught that? That was M. Holloway. Points to you. You get 100 of them and you can get an extra life. Alright? Look at all the end-ends flying across the screen. Oh my goodness. I didn't put in a link over here to get to the orders, but I do know that I can just navigate to orders, and I should get my orders user interface here. Or not. What doesn't it like here? Request match multiple endpoints. Get orders, get items for order. No, because those are on API. Slash API slash orders slash. Why is it saying getting slash API slash order? Oh, because it matches both of these. All right, fine. I know what that is. All right, fine. This needs to be, so the get is just fine there. This needs to match, I think I just put ID like that. And it'll hit that. Let's give it a shot. So that it's clear what the difference between the two. Yeah. Yep, didn't have the qualifier here. So we'll show how MVC integrates with this, and we'll go back over to how we, we'll go back over to our ongoing project. And that didn't compile and connect properly. Try it again. And here we go. Can you show you do that if it shows loading while it's loading? Sure. So let me show, there's the regular loading that happens while it's bootstrapping and putting together the user interface. This should have returned something. What did we error out? No kidding! Well, I can't even stop it. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. This is what I was running into, and the .NET team said they couldn't make this happen. Well, we just made it happen again. Because while that error is happening, where is it? The compiler erases. Right, and this also doesn't show me what's going on here. Right, look at this. So there's a little bit of a debugger challenge there. Where is it hitting this? So I don't know what the error is there, and there isn't an error over here. So I've made a mistake somewhere in my code. Let me go back over to orders.razor, because this is the page I'm navigating to. Let me actually put it on the navigation. Href orders. All right, now it's on the navigation link. So it's trying to get this data, and it's failing. At least it looks like it's failing. Tell you what, let's comment that out and see what happens. Missed an @ on the first. Oh, that could be. Somehow I whacked that, and I can't stop the build at this point. Can't stop the build. Can't stop.
Well, do your best.
I'm trying, Headley Lamar. So let me try that again. See if that goes. Add HTTP get orders or change call URL to get orders. Shouldn't need to do that. It should pick up on the naming standard. So if you name a method and it starts with one of the HTTP verbs, it will automatically turn that into the appropriate response for that verb. So I should be able to click on this. There they are. So there's my 2 orders. No big deal. And I thought I made that a striped table. Whatever. So when I click the details record, it goes, fetches it, and shows it here. That's when I put it on the line items. So real easy, and I can go get Mary Contreras, and there's hers right there, right with the appropriate total. It'd be nice when you click details to actually highlight that record, and you can do that by passing in information about the element that you clicked into the object, so you can appropriately set properties on the DOM, the CSS properties, appropriately for that row. So there's things you can do there to make this work, but it's very simple to do this master detail record interaction. So, little stylish senpai starting to learn about HTML and CSS. How hard are those? Ultramark, yes. Easy to learn, hard to master. HTML is just a markup language. When you look at how a page is constructed, thank you for the follow. Weber, thank you for joining us. When you look at these, I'm not quite sure what that is. These are what they call tags that surround various pieces of content. I'm not going to get too far into what some of these things are doing, but these are showing various objects, and you have to learn what these various tags are. A is an anchor tag. This is a link. Well, how do those fit together? And CSS things like classes that you apply to those tags enhance them by adding images, background images, colors, and layout, positioning. It takes a little bit of time to understand the concepts, but then it takes a lifetime to master because these things change and they behave differently in different browsers. Good luck to you. We might spend some time doing some more basic HTML in the future, but it's not something that I like to focus on here. So it's definitely a worthwhile worthwhile venture to go into. This yeah, this is right. Yeah, this is Edge Chromium. Oh wait, no, I'm running Firefox right now. I usually run Edge Chromium, but I ran into some issues with Edge Chromium a few weeks ago. And it is still in beta. I run the canaries of Edge, the latest. So, asked if my orders equals null should be encapsulated. Nah. You're over this. You're over analyzing the template. You're making it a little bit trickier than it needs to be. So, simple, and this is using Blazor master detail records. Well, what if I want to also include MVC as part of this? So we're already doing a little bit of MVC because we have these API controllers that are hosting the Blazor component, and you see the integration happening here in the startup class. This is where we put together all the features of our application. This is a web application. It runs on a web server. It's executing ASP.NET. It's executing .NET code on a web server, and it has here in this configure method that it also hosts a client-side Blazor application as part of this. I can add MVC capabilities to it by adding endpoints and routing to this. If I remember how to do this correctly. I should be able to say endpoints, map controllers. There's map controllers, and I can map Razor pages. There you go. But if I map controllers, which I think I map default controller route. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you joining us. But I've already got the controllers mapped, so I can actually start listening and responding appropriately to MVC actions and views, right? So I can certainly add another action in here, another controller. I'll add an empty MVC controller. If you're familiar with MVC, you've seen this type of thing before. Let's call this the about controller. Hey, thank you for the follow, Lozano Tech. Hello, I think that's our friend Javier. Good to see you. I appreciate you joining us. And we are 10 followers away from another sticker giveaway, thanks to our new followers. Appreciate that. Lily Stylish Senpai asks, does one have to learn HTML first and then afterwards CSS? That's a good approach, Lily. And LL Stylish, I'm not sure, but I'm turning that into Lily. My apologies. But Stylish Senpai, HTML is the basis for how you build your web pages. CSS is a layer on top of that applies style, right? CSS is cascading style sheets. So it applies a style to those. You want to make sure that you know how to manipulate HTML before you start applying styles, whether it's colors, layout, images. So it is a two-step thing, but there's some basics to HTML that you can get very quickly. Hold off on client-side JavaScript if you want to focus on design. Hold off on that until after you get a little bit of CSS under you. JavaScript will let you do some of the interactions inside the browser. And now WebAssembly means other languages, not just .NET and C#, but other languages, yes, I said JavaScript, like Rust and Go and C++, you can compile and run in the browser as well. So, hello, welcome. Is that Jess? Thanks so much for joining us. Yes, learn semantic HTML for accessibility reasons. And when we say semantic HTML, every tag has a meaning. And those meanings that you attribute to them are important. Learn them, and the meanings of those.
Oh my.
No, oh my. It's important that you learn them because other browsers, for folks who can't see the user interface, right? For the visually impaired folks, will read the content differently, right? You wouldn't be able to make your website available for folks that can't see. Or you want to make appropriate use of the user interface so that folks that have vision problems and need to make their user interface really, really big can still see your content. So it's important to understand accessibility, how that plays into HTML layout, and then how CSS can customize it. It's very interesting stuff. You're welcome, Stylish Senpai. Best of luck to you. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you joining us. There's a number of tools that you can use to learn how various folks, whether they are visually impaired or they can't see very well and they have very large fonts, there's various tools you can use that'll help show you what they see when they view your web pages. So this is an MVC controller, about controller, and this is to, I think it was 24 minutes question in the Discord. Well, can I use these together? Well, I've added MVC. I'm going to add a folder for my views, and I'm going to add a default, right? Because I have an about index here. I'm just going to create a view here for index, view name index, empty, sure. You know, I might have some other stuff going on here, whatever it might be. Yes, generating code, gotta build all these things. Part of me wishes it would just write this down here, you know? This is my about page. I don't have a layout to go with this, and that's okay. I just want to be able to see that when I go to /about, I get this page instead of Blazor. Right? I don't have an about page up here, do I? No, I don't. Good. Let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens. So I've added, right? I'm mixing things here. I'm crossing the streams, as it were. I'm adding not just API interactions for machine communications to my server, but I've added now an MVC view that renders something for human eyes to be able to read. Add the menu items as well? I could. It's not going to interact quite the same way because I'm outside, right? I can still go to these other pages. These things are out here, and I got my orders. But when I want to go, this about actually goes to Blazor.net. You can see over there. But if I go to about here, views about index CSHTML. Views about. Oh, I didn't put it in the about folder. Rats. I didn't name it properly. I can't rename that. Stand by. Somebody didn't think this through all the way. Yes, move it. Thank you. But you're moving outside of the Blazor framework, so it doesn't know to highlight the menu items appropriately. Never cross the stream, says 24 Death Packs. Well,
do your best.
Yeah. You think I put my views folder under the control? No, it's next to it, see? But I forgot the about controller name there, right? There it is. This is my about page, right? That's what I had here. So I've mixed them, and I can host Blazor components inside my MVC page. You do this by executing, I believe it's render component, and you can put a component inside your MVC page, right? What is it? It's like HTML, right? Render component. There we go. Right, and I can say render. Well, I don't have any of the components. They're being referenced over here, so I might be able to say counter. Right, but counter is inside of sample Blazor UI. Right? Yeah. Cannot convert to non-object. Do you intend to evoke the method? Yes, I did actually. I forget how to do this. Yeah, I need the namespace, don't I? Let me hit F1 here and go grab the docs. Well, that's sad. This used to go right to the docs, but the navigation doesn't go there anymore. Look at it. Trying to go to MSDN. Well, now I'm sad. Site, docs, Microsoft, com, render component async. Here we go. There we go. Await HTML render component async. Await. Right? Why don't you like that? Render mode. Sure, server pre-rendered. Now it doesn't know where counter is. I need, like they were saying, yep, I need the appropriate user interface. Did it add? It didn't add the using statement for me. Give me that using statement. No. Sample Blazor UI client pages. Now it should find counter. There it goes. All right. So now it should render and put the counter in the middle of this. I happen to be working with those right now, but they don't work so well, so I stick with partial views, view components, tag helpers, and stuff aren't turned to HTML in them. Well, this is a Blazor component, actually. So here's my about page, and this isn't, you're right, it's not quite working properly because it doesn't have, actually, all of the stuff to wire it up, right? There is no... The click things here and all the features for Blazor aren't on this page. So it doesn't know how to execute all the goo that goes along with it. It doesn't know what to do with this thing. So, but you can include those on your page and make it work if that's what you want. Right? Because that is here. You can grab that, you can include it, and it will work. But it becomes a little hairy at that point. Can be done. Happy to be working. Probably got to do static. Maybe. Renders the component into static HTML. Or I can have it do the interaction on the server. For a Blazor server-side application. Yeah. But this means then that I need to have all the script running inside the browser so that it can do the two-way communication. Right. So. Stylish Senpai asks, what exactly is Blazor? So Blazor is a user interface framework that you can build with using .Net, using C#, and it will run and render client-side, client-side in the browser. So when I refresh here, you see it requested, look at this, write HTML, CSS, JavaScript, JSON, icons, but it also requested mono, right? It also requested all these DLLs, and these DLLs are running in the browser. That's what Blazor is. It's those running in the browser. So this isn't going to work because it doesn't have the script it needs wired up so it can actually do this. It just rendered the component. So you'd have to add the Blazor framework to the page to make that work. All right? So that's how you can use Blazor back and forth with MVC and use MVC, but those interactive things where you would be hosting something inside of a Blazor component or with the menus where you have the navigation layout, this doesn't have any context for where you are in the MVC world. You're literally leaving the single page application to go into MVC, and that might be okay. It's going to get a little crazy to try and go back and forth. You're welcome, 24 minutes. Yeah. Blazing fast, Blazor. It is. If I wrapped the layout, it would have worked. Yes, if I had wrapped the layout with the appropriate scripts and things that it needs to trigger and run those. Yes. Catch you later, 24 minutes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this sample real quick, and so that you folks have access to it. If you want to reference and come back to this sample later, I'm going to create a little repository here. Template? No, I don't want a template. And I will call this sample Blazor master detail records. Okay? A sample showing Blazor with master detail record user interface. As well as some MVC mixed in. There we go. Make this public. Sure, initialize it with a README. Don't mind if I do. We're going to use the Visual Studio. Git ignore. We're going to add a license. I make everything MIT. Do I want to put Dependabot on this? No. Just do it. And I'll upload the content. GitHub Actions. Do I actually have access to actions? Or are you just teasing me here? I'm not going to do that right now. I just want to upload content to this. Alright. And let me head over to the application here on disk. And we called it Sample Blazor UI. Sample Blazor UI. Git init here. Git remote add origin. And I'm saying we're going to upload it to GitHub there. Git pull. Yes. See, why don't you just origin master? Yeah. What do you mean it doesn't exist? I just created it. Git pull origin master. There it is. All right. Let's add everything that we just wrote and commit. First commit. And we'll push that up. Sign it, of course. And push. Oh, are you kidding me? I wish it would just prompt me for that. Be like, okay, fine, do it. There we go. Fantastic. All right. So if you want to find the sample that we just walked through, there it is. All right. Brave Cobra has access to actions now. Ultramark says actions are widely available. Fantastic. Plaza TV. How do I use PowerShell with batch scripts? Did anybody answer that? Short stream today? No. Not a short stream today. We're still going. I need to fix that schedule coming back from the bot. With Blazor loading mono and other DLLs, how do initial page load times compare with options like Angular and other full JavaScript frameworks? Depends on how much you have those DLLs cached, right? Those DLLs for the other things that the .NET frameworks depend on. If they're cached in the client, it actually loads really fast, and they're still working on linking and making it even smaller and faster so that you can download and interact with that. It's coming. This is still in preview on the client side capabilities. Those won't be available for at least until 2020 as RTM because they're still tuning and making it better. But to the question about using PowerShell with batch scripts, that's kind of like you're using two things that do the same thing. PowerShell and batch scripts work together, are both scripting languages. If you want to call a PowerShell script from a command, right, from a .cmd file, right, you can just call psh space and the name of the PowerShell that you want to run. Lazy loaded DLLs would be nice, says Brave Cobra. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. Excuse me. All right. I do only have about 20 minutes more because I do have a meeting at the top of the hour here. See, I have the Face ID thing on my phone, and it doesn't show me the content of my notifications here. Until I go through a couple things. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. All right, we're fine. We're good. All right, so what I wanted to go through, what I wanted to show for the rest of the time. So we answered some questions, Codescu, about master detail records using Blazor client-side, and also how to use MVC with client-side Blazor. We showed a quick sample about that, and just uploaded our sample code to this repository on GitHub. Auth guards on there as well. No access to the module. Don't download the DLL. That very interesting ideas, Brave Cobra, and some of the reason why they're not releasing client-side Blazor as a fully supported framework yet, right? Authorization, security, running all that code in the browser, being able to decompile it in the browser can be a little dangerous. So they want to make sure they get all their footing around them properly. We've been working on this project, the Pixel Bot. This is a distributed chatbot that runs with client-side Blazor, and we've been building features into this. We've been adding capabilities to this, including user logins, and we've been working particularly on adding features to this as things that can be added on demand to the project. So it's not tightly coupled to where our orchestrator, our main application, lives, that's going to manage the memory for all the different channels that are running the application here. We do know enough to be dangerous, Brave Cobra. You're not? Yeah, you're very right there. It's a problem. Because we can get very dangerous. Okay. So we went through, we added the ability to configure and build in several different configurations for each channel. And I wrote a simple thing, a simple method in a class to save my channel's configuration as a JSON file here. You can see it right there in the configuration folder. Realistically, when we get into a production space, we're going to save that configuration into some NoSQL storage location. It'll be JSON and it'll be saved out to something. It might be Cosmos DB, it might be MongoDB, it could be Azure Table Storage, whatever. File on disk is just fine for managing interactions with this content. Did we get the memory leak issue fixed? No, and I don't want to dwell on that today. It's not something that I want to spin my wheels on. There's two memory leak issues here that we're talking about. There was one where when we had a misrendered Blazor template, the memory would race on the server process. I need to spend more time with the engineers to reproduce that. There was also a memory leak issue here where we're referencing transient objects from a singleton object. We need to be able to handle that appropriately as well. Let's see here. Let me see. So, I do need to show this. Can I take a second here and show you something that arrived overnight? Well, arrived this morning. I've made a big deal about this, and I'm not ashamed of it. the Live Coders gaming jerseys arrived today. Oh my gosh, this giant box of 50 jerseys arrived, and I'm so thrilled that they're here. And you can see there's number 11 and all these. The folks at Custom Esports did a tremendous job putting this together, helping me with the design, printing out our logo and our sponsor logo, Content Lab, on the jerseys. Really happy with how these came out. And that's all I'm going to show you of them until TwitchCon. So, really excited to see those. We will, I have had some requests, some folks that didn't get in on the first order of jerseys from the team. I'm going to work on setting up a second batch for team members that are complimentary to them. And if there are members in the community that want to order some, we'll try and make it available for folks to order jerseys as well. So, yeah, look at this. Good. All right. So, we have this ability to save and bring back configuration. We started moving features out because we can load, you just saw, we can load Razor components from another project. The new router that comes with ASP.NET Core 3 allows us to pick up and import those components from other libraries. And I modified it here to tell it to go look in the other project as well. I think it was under components, right? But I told it to go find... here it is. So our new router in ASP.NET Core 3 allows us to specify, don't just look in this assembly, but look in other assemblies as well, right? An assembly, that's a DLL. This is a unit of distribution in .NET. So go find me another assembly that has capabilities in it. So we're going to go find the standard features assembly. Now, I'm not really keen on using that type of to go find assembly. Because if we change the name of this, if we move this particular object, it's going to break this bit of code here. But we're almost there. There's other ways that we can do that. Let me see, there's a couple comments here. Still need to make affiliate to join the team, says Brave Cobra. Yeah, I specifically set affiliate as a minimum for team members so we can make sure that folks that do join the team are in and are going to be live coders for a while here. Yep, just need to stream more often. Fire marshal that came to inspect just ran over the fire hydrant. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. BCat, thank you for the follow. 7 followers from our next giveaway. Oh my gosh. So this will go look up and find these other features, load these up, and make them available as pages within the application. So, right, my chat room Razor here listens on Widget's chat room some channel. We started building out the user activity train, right? This is a feature, right? And there's to each one of our widgets, there's a feature that has configuration and the widget to go along with it. The feature object here dictates how to connect everything together so that widget, that Razor component, loads and renders properly. All right, let me take a look here. Do the thing. Okay. So we have a way to track user activity, right? When the bot sees things happen in channel, it will send messages appropriately to a hub that will, a SignalR hub, right? That's that two-way communication object that we can use that will use sockets to communicate and send information to anybody that's listening to say, hey, this thing happened. So we should have, if I'm looking here, there, we have this follower hub over here that knows how to listen, how to participate as a SignalR hub and provide a follower client that folks can use to send a notification that, hey, there's a new follower and here's the new follower. But this is in the wrong place. I don't want my follower management stuff. I don't think I want it. inside my orchestrator, but maybe I do. I can move that out into my collection of standard features over here. Right? Where did standard features go? Here. So that there's a standard implementation of how to interact with the follower hub down here, but for right now I'm going to leave it here. Because this is going to get reused across many, many different things. I feel similarly about the chat room hub. SignalR requires that we register these hub objects, and it is registered there. Good. Regex Attempts used SignalR for the first time this week. What'd you think? Let us know. It's a great abstraction over that two-way communication you need to do with the server. So, I'm going to set up for our raid here as we wrap up in the next 5-10 minutes. I think I see somebody to raid that'll be a lot of fun today. So, this is listening, and we have a way to communicate with the follower hub. We have a service called the Follower Service Actor that, when there are new followers, will notify, hey, a new follower joined, and here's their name. Good. I think we're okay. I think this works appropriately because we're triggering features. We'll get there. I think we may not need this because this is going to fire. Let's see what happens. We'll get back to that. We noted, so this will notify our widget that's listening to that SignalR hub. We now need to actually build the widget that's going to be listening. So I'm going to come down here to the user activity train, and I'm going to add a Razor component that will listen for that. So this is a Razor component, and I will call this user activity train. Maybe use mediators notifications there. I don't want to bring something new in with 10 minutes to go. And mediator has a lot of overhead, I'm going to hold off on that. So these widgets, I don't want any layout to go with them because they're layoutless. I want them to be simple so that you're just building onto them. So I'm going to get rid of that. Well, actually, no, let's just show that for right now so we know we have an endpoint. And the format that I had set forth for this was something that looks like that. And I will call this just train. Widgets/train, and then whatever channel it is that you're listening to. And we need to wire that up. We need to hook it up. If you look at the chat room here, this doesn't have a way to connect out yet and say, I'm listening for this channel, right? This is where we're going to run into our first issue. We're including this on the page, but we also need to include our JavaScript appropriately to go along with this that will wire up to that SignalR endpoint and have access to our C# code so that we can have that integrated communication between the WebSockets, which we can only communicate with right now using SignalR in JavaScript, and our C# code that'll format and handle the business logic appropriately. So let's put some notes for that here. Need to include SignalR client. Need to attach, yes, I said JavaScript. Need to attach client to the hub for the channel requested. Need to pass the JavaScript runtime to the .NET runtime, and there is an integration path there that we can cross, but we need to go the other way. We need to pass the .NET runtime to the JavaScript, to the SignalR connection methods. So after SignalR makes its connection and it's listening, we need to be able to, when it receives a notification, hey, there's a new follower, trigger the appropriate C# code. Yes, I said JavaScript again. Love hitting that. Oh, way too early to introduce an event bus. Oh my goodness. Not gonna touch event bus for a while. Yeah. That's putting the architecture way early here. Let's get this working. We use the actor model for this so that we could do multi-threading a little bit easily. We'll be able to bring in event bus and clustering later and take advantage of those capabilities easily because of the extensible endpoints that the Akka.net chat room has. Akka.net framework has. This is where we're going to go next time, is we're going to wire up and do these things, and we'll do that tomorrow here on stream. So let me commit the changes that I've made here, which are really, I believe, just these notes. There, yeah. This is where we're going to jump back in tomorrow. But I'm happy that we got through and we explained and we walked through a little bit of those questions around the Blazor user interface, master detail records, and MVC capabilities. No, that's what I want. Notes for getting started on the train widget. Cool. And I'm going to start that Mario music. There we go. There we go. And I fully expect to rebase and get rid of that commit at some point in the future. All right. Yeah, it'll be a while till we get to the clustering section. We've got some minimum viable capabilities that we want to do here. This train, that chat room feature, the cheer bar that we built with our friend Fairywings, they're all going to become part of this before we deploy as minimally available. Minimum viable. Thank you, Marcus, for kicking off the raid notification. If you're a subscriber, grab that first line of code, copy it onto your clipboard. My coding squad is here. All your base are belong to us. If you're not a subscriber, that's okay too. Grab the second command, the second statement there, copy that onto your clipboard. Get ready because we are going to raid one of the latest members of the Live Coders team. This is the Primogen. There we go. Set up that raid. If you're not familiar, he's writing some code right now for Netflix. You're going to get to see some of the Netflix client being built while you watch. Very interesting guy. Absolutely web-faced. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. I really appreciate it. You have a good one. Write some great code. Take a look at what we have here. Enjoy it. And I will see you tomorrow right back here on channel. All right. Take care. Get ready to say hello to the Primogen for me. And I'll be back tomorrow. See ya.